Welcome to War Thunder with Subdude. How y'all doing tonight? Well, Gaijin is coming up on its 1.91 update. And so far we've heard nothing. Of course, I'm not really expecting to hear anything at this time. But when they do start talking about 1.91, I hope to God that they start talking about making their maps more playable. Now, you fighter jock straps really do not matter in this. When I'm playing a fighter, it doesn't matter what map it is. It's worth playing on. But when I'm playing a bomber or an attacker, there is a very finite number of maps that are worth playing on. Husky, France, El Alamein, Hokkaido, El Alamein again, Herkin Second Battle, not a one is worth playing on. Now, some of you are probably going, but my planes can bomb. Who cares? We've got garbage bombing targets, which are, let's face it, they're worthless. Yes, you get just about enough to cover your repairs, unless you're flying a B-29, in which case my heart goes out to you, because you really do get screwed. Or a TU-4, same thing. German bombers, the top tier bombers really get shafted too. Except the Arados, they get off pretty scot-free. They've got a low enough repair cost. Of course, they've got a weedy bomb load, and it's only good enough for taking out one base. But the problem is in the layout of the maps. In every case, well, nearly every case, the ground targets, of which there are worthless few, are directly between the two air bases. And this has been the way it's been in this game forever. And nobody at Gaijin has their head together enough to go through and rejigger these maps to make them more playable for attackers and bombers. Now, you might be sitting there going, well, what are you going to do for bombers? Why don't you make a large bombing target, which requires 2 or 3 bombers to work together to take out? Not that any of our players are smart enough to get that through their thick heads sometimes. Most of the time they're off on their own little fantasy land, thinking, I'm Buck Dodgers of the 21st century and I'm going to defeat the enemy, blah, 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 stupid. It doesn't make any sense for the way most of these maps are set up. And then you got some maps that are just absolutely worthless. Worthless. Most of your Pacific maps are absolute garbage. Worse than useless, not even worth flying. The only one that is even vaguely worth flying on is the Guam map. Preparations for invasion to Hokkaido. That is the only Pacific map that is worth a tinker's dam. And you know how much a tinker's dam is worth. Not much. Let's just run through some of the idiot battles. France, 1944. Not worth flying. Husky. Not worth flying, really. I flew it, but I shouldn't have. El Alamein, France, 1944. Not worth flying. El Alamein, not worth flying. Really not worth flying. The bombing targets aren't worth the money. There's zero skill involved for an attacker because you're out in front of your fighters. You're in front of your fighters. Think about that. The fighters never catch up. And all of a sudden you're swarmed under by enemy fighters. It happens every time. Hokkaido. I do not like this map. I have never really liked this map. It is a pain in the butt. Now, low tier, it's not bad. Tier 2, Tier 3 aircraft, not bad. Tier 4, Tier 5, Tier 6 aircraft, forget it. It is absolutely ridiculous. El Alamein. The targets are garbage. Worthless. That's not worth flying an attacker or a bomber. Herkin 2nd. Wouldn't be bad if you would just put both airfields on one side of the map. Leave the rest of the map open for attackers and bombers to work. But no. Gaijin isn't smart enough to do something like that. Normandy, absolutely worthless. Killing pillboxes is a pain in the butt. And it's not worth the trouble of doing it. And then again, you're right underneath the enemy fighters. And you get slaughtered. So why bother? Bulge. Bulge isn't a bad mission. If you're doing it right. If you're not doing it right, don't even waste your time. I give it 5 or 6 minutes just to see how the team is doing. If the team is doing well and there are fewer Germans, I'll fly. If the team is not doing well, no reason to fly. And that's with an attacker or a bomber. It just isn't worth flying on most of these missions. Saipan. Who in their right mind thought that Saipan would be a worthy place to fly? It really isn't. Again, France, Malta. I really think that this one is a joke. Ruhr. Not bad for Tier 2, Tier 3, maybe early Tier 5 or 4. But not for top tier, Tier 4. Top of the tier, Tier 4, 5, or 6. It is not big enough. And again, everything is right between the two bases. Again, Zangetsu. Zangetsu isn't actually that bad. But again, for one side, most of the targets are directly between the two air bases. For the other side, not so much. I can work my way around the edges and get at it. Stalingrad, not a bad mission. Kursk, I don't know what to say. It's trash. Kalakungol. Again, it would be a nice map, but again, you've got the air bases. They're far enough apart, but all the ground targets are located in one real area, and all the fighters are on top of you within moments if you're flying an attacker. And as for a bomber, you've got such a long flight to get to the bombing targets, you might as well just pack it in. Normandy, Berlin. Berlin has its uses, but only for one side as far as I'm concerned. I do not like flying the Allied side because I think it's an absolute joke. And as far as attackers, well, the only plane that I use as an attacker on Berlin is the Arado 234B2. And I can only make one pass before I have to run away, land, and most of the time, by that time, I can tell pretty much whether we're going to win or whether we're going to lose, and it really isn't worth flying out again. Coruscant, worthless mission. Too close together. Lots of ground targets, but you're too close together. Uranus, don't particularly like it. I've flown it though. Spain. Dear God, Spain. What a nasty piece of work. Why can't we fly on alternate history Spain with Tier 4 and early Tier 5 planes? Why are we relegated to just Spain and only alternate history Spain gets to have the top of Tier 5 and Tier 6 in it? That makes no sense. Now, I did my job, as noted by the RP and the Lions. But then again, here we are again. France, Normandy, Husky. I really think whoever designed this should be fired immediately. They should be sent home with no pay and a bad recommendation. Smolensk. Wouldn't be bad other than, once again, you've got all the targets directly between the two air bases, which is absolute stupidity. I think I've made my point. This is something Gaijin needs to work on in 1.91. Rejigger your maps severely. Get your head out of your butts and fix the maps, Gaijin. Love the game. Love the models. Love to play the planes. But you don't know what you're doing when you're putting together the missions. They're good for one side or the other. I don't care. But what you've done is just made it almost impossible for attackers and bombers to do their job properly. And jiggering around with the RP gain and the repair costs and rewards is not enough. You've got to fix the maps. Make the missions more fun. This is a game. It's supposed to be fun. When it's not fun, you end up ditching matches like I do. And I ditch a lot of matches because it's not fun. Now, I said Saipan, I don't like it. And honestly, I don't really like it. The AAA on the carriers is way too intense. And that's about all I really got to say. The rest of it is just garbage. Japanese planes are freaking UFOs that they're ridiculous. They are absolutely ridiculous right now. And I'm still abjectly confused over why you made the R2Y2. I could have seen one of them. But you've got 3 of them in the game, and they are absolute abominations. And the performance level of the Kika has gone through the roof. It's not that good. It's not that good. If it was that good, when the Americans captured a couple of them, they probably would have said, "Ooh, this design is good. Let's go with this and build our own." But no, they did not, because they were trash. Gaijin, pull your head out your butt and start working on fixing gameplay. If you're not willing to fix gameplay, well, you're going to keep losing players. Now, there's 25,000 people online right now and 774 battles ongoing. That's worldwide. Worldwide. World of Tanks North American server has that many. Come on, Gaijin. Pull your head out your butt. Start thinking and start fixing gameplay. Doom has said it. I'm saying it. Many of the players who are on YouTube say it. Fix your shit, Gaijin. Subdude signing out. Y'all have a pleasant today, a better tomorrow, and we will catch you in the skies in air realistic on maps that are worth flying. Bye-bye, folks.